So, the Chinese Communist Party is being exposed for what it calls Chinese overseas police service stations. The CCP says that they are for persuading Chinese citizens who've supposedly committed crimes in China or abroad, such as scams and environmental crimes, to come back home. You know, just some friendly neighborhood persuasion. They also claim that overseas police help with things like renewing a Chinese driver's license and patrolling places with a lot of Chinese tourists. China isn't the only country to ever do this. After 9/11, the NYPD set up overseas bureaus to investigate terrorism. But there's a big difference. Many of these Chinese overseas police stations were established without permission from the countries they're in, and potentially in violation of international law. Their excuse? Extradition rules are very cumbersome. What's wrong with simply pressuring criminals to return to China and skipping all the red tape? I mean, I bet they didn't make Spider-Man fill out a bunch of annoying paperwork when he went to Europe. And what's wrong with enforcing justice? If by justice you mean allowing an authoritarian regime that targets political and religious dissidents to pressure people to return to China, what's wrong with that? I've covered in previous episodes how two Chinese counties called Qingtian and Fuzhou set up local law enforcement branches abroad. This was exposed by the human rights NGO Safeguard Defenders. After their report, at least 13 countries started to investigate. Some even ordered China to close the police stations down. Back when Safeguard Defenders first reported this issue in September, they counted 54 overseas Chinese police stations across 5 continents. But in their follow-up report, Patrol and Persuade, they found almost double the number of police stations. In addition to the previously revealed 54 stations, there are at least 48 additional Chinese overseas police stations, bringing the total to 102 across 53 countries. Something that came from China is now spreading uncontrollably. Say what you want about the Chinese Communist Party, but at least they're consistent. Most of these newly discovered police stations came from 2 more counties in China, Nantong and Wenzhou. At least 29 countries were found to have police from Nantong, and 9 countries were found to have police from Wenzhou. These police stations are like high fructose corn syrup. Once you learn about it and start paying attention, you realize it's in everything.